Hello there, everybody, and welcome to your first lesson for Social 10. As you are watching this lesson, you're going to want to make sure that you have your partial notes for Unit 1 with you, because as we go through the slides of this lesson, you will want to complete your partial notes with information that you get from the slides. So, these videos are designed for students who maybe joined this class later in the semester and need to catch up, or for students who miss a day of class and don't want to fall behind, and then they can watch this video, or they're designed for students who want to go back and review information that they already learned in class. So either way, welcome to the video. I hope you enjoy it. We're going to start things off with Unit 1. All right, so Unit 1 asks the question, should globalization shape my identity? And that will be the question that we are looking at throughout this entire unit, right? We're going to be looking at two important things here. One of them is globalization, and the other one is identity. And we're going to learn about these two different things as we go through the lessons of this unit, right? So this image right here is a reference to globalization. And then this image over here on the right side is a reference to identity. And we will explore both of these concepts in our first couple of lessons. However, today in lesson 1, we will be focusing more on identity. So that's why the title of lesson 1 is individual and collective identities. So as I said, you should have your partial notes with you. So in your partial notes, you will see that there is a spot where it says lesson 1. Okay, so here are your partial notes, right? You'll notice you got the title of the unit, should globalization shape my identity? And then here it says lesson 1. All right, well, I want you to write out on this line, I want you to write the title of lesson 1, right? So in the blue letters, individual and collective identities. So as we go through this lesson, you're going to be taking a look at the slides that I put up on the screen. And anytime you see letters that are written in blue, well, those are words that you need to write in your partial notes. Okay, so you only need to write the blue stuff into your partial notes. If it's a different color other than blue, you don't need to write it down. All right, so individual and collective identities is what we are talking about. This person represents individual identities, and then these people here are members of a collective, and they have a collective identity that they share. So you'll see in your partial notes that you have a oval, right? And that oval is right here. Okay, you'll see that in your partial notes. So now inside that oval, you can write factors that shape my identity. And then you can draw a bunch of lines coming out of that. And so if we were in class right now, we would be discussing all of these different factors that shape a person's identity, but we're not in class. So instead, we're going to go straight to the answers. Family, friends, nationality, interests and hobbies, role models, languages, political beliefs, and religious beliefs. These are all different things that influence who we are as a person. They shape us, they shape our identities, right? So our family, we learn so much from our family members, our parents, our siblings, grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins. They all impact us in many ways, right? And they pass on a lot of things to us, including DNA, right? And personality traits, but also values and beliefs. And then as we become a little bit older, our friends become more and more important. You guys are teenagers, so your friends are becoming more and more important to you. And so they also influence who you are. And your nationality, right? Living here in Canada means that you are going to have a different life and also a different identity than if you lived in a different country. And your interests, your hobbies, those things shape who you are as well. Role models, these are people that you look up to, people that you would like to become just like, and, you know, people that you want to emulate, people that you want to mimic in your life. And of course, they will have an impact on your choices and your behavior. And then whether you speak one language or many languages, the language or languages that you speak impact your identity because they allow you to connect with different people in the world. And your political beliefs are, of course, an important part of your identity, as well as your religious beliefs. And they play a big role in who you are as a person. So The first activity for you to do is called the identity web. So you'll notice in your partial notes, if you went down, you see number 1, identity web. And you'll see that there are a bunch of circles that are attached. That is what you're going to be doing for the identity web. So you need to write 8 statements about different aspects of your identity. Each statement can start with I am or I like. And you can write those statements directly in the circles up on your page. So here, I'll show you some examples. I did some as well. So I only did 3, but you have to do 8. So I like country music. It's good stuff. I am a dad. That's an important part of my identity. And I am a teacher. All right, so those are things that I wrote. But you need to write down 8 things about your identity. If you're having trouble thinking of things to write down, well, you can use some of these things here, right? Some of these factors that shape your identity can help you come up with your 8 sentences. So you can go ahead and you can pause this video and you can work on your 8 sentences now. Okay, welcome back. All right, so you wrote your 8 things, your 8 sentences starting with I am or I like. And now you are going to add to it. Okay, so for each of these circles with a little statement in it, you're going to add at least 1 or maybe even 2 extra sentences written in extra circles that you will draw. And in these circles, I want you to write a sentence in which you show how you express that part of your identity. So here I said, I like country music. Well, what are some real things that I do to show that I like country music? Well, I have some country music playlists that I follow on Spotify, right, and that I listen to when I'm doing things around the house or when I'm driving to work. And so that's something that I do that shows that I like country music. I also, well, before COVID, I used to go to different concerts, right? And that used to be a fun thing to do. Unfortunately, that's not possible anymore, right? So anyway, if I wanted to add to this one, I am a dad. I could say, I spend time playing with my kids. I'm a dad. I buy groceries for my kids. I don't know. So I want you to do the same thing that I did, but for the 8 statements that you wrote in your 8 circles, and then you add 1 or 2 to each of those 8 statements, explaining how you express those parts of your identity. So you can pause this video and you can go and complete that activity right now. Okay, welcome back. You just finished doing that activity and we're going to continue completing some more notes. All right, so you'll see in your partial notes that down here there are 2 boxes, individual identity and collective identity. We are now going to fill out those 2 boxes as we go through these next slides. Okay, so individual and collective identities, we're going to learn the differences between the 2. So what is an individual identity? So you got to write down the blue stuff. These are the characteristics and values that make a person who they are, right? Things that make you unique as an individual, right? So those are things that can include all of your own personal interests and hobbies. That can include your own voice. Did you know that no 2 people in the world have the same voice? Or your DNA, right? Unless you are an identical twin, you have unique DNA and nobody has ever had the same DNA as you. Same with your fingerprint, right? And then also your choices in life. We all have different life experiences, and those different experiences shape us into a unique individual, a person who is different from other people. And so that makes up your individual identity. Next is collective identity, which is in the box just beneath individual identity. And here you see a group of people together, right? Which makes sense because collectives are groups of people, right? So your collective identity, this is the identity that you share with other people, right? So these are characteristics and values that bring a group of people together, right? So you'll see in the box, it says examples, members of the same, different things, right? So what kinds of things might people be members of? Well, they might be members of a religion, a nation, a language, a school, an ethnicity, a team, or club. These are all different things that might bring people together to form a collective, right? So if you are a part of a religion, let's say you are Catholic, well, then you are part of um, the Catholic collective identity, right? We are all members of Father Lacombe High School, right? And that means we have the collective identity that we share, which is being members of Father Lacombe High School, right? Or if you speak, we all speak English. Well, we all share that part of our collective identity, right? Many of us speak other languages too. Well, then we share an identity with other people who also speak that same language, right? And same with ethnicity. And if you are a member of a team, well, that team is like, you have formed a collective identity with that team or club, right? So anyway, I hope that gives you an idea of the differences between individual and collective identities. Now you can turn the page on your partial notes, right? And you can take a look at this right here. Number 2, collective identities. So what you are going to need to do here is name and describe 3 collectives that you are a part of. You can use examples from this lesson. Explain why being part of each collective is an important part of your identity. Okay, so you have 3 to do here. So what do we got? This is an example. You could say something like, I am a member of my church youth group. Being part of this collective is important because, and then you can explain why that's important to your identity, right? And so I don't know why I have 4 numbers here. I think I said 3, right? Yeah, 3. So only 3. All right, so you can go ahead and do that. And once you've done that, then you will be finished lesson 1. Right on. And then I hope you have a great day. See ya. See ya.